Here's 2022's formula for e-commerce success. 1. Customers can find things easily. 2. They discover more products they love. 3. Everything's personalized and relevant just for them. Seem tough? It's not if you add Coveo to your existing e-commerce platform. Coveo's AI makes every customer experience relevant, so you get more conversions, increased cart sizes, and repeat buyers. Learn more at coveo.com. That's Coveo.com.
Welcome to Total Retail Talks, your podcast channel for retail knowledge.
Hello, and welcome to this episode of Total Retail Talks. I'm Joe Keenan, Editor-in-Chief of Total Retail. I am joined on today's episode by Tristan Burns, the Global Head of Analytics at Pizza Hut International. Tristan and I are going to be discussing a little bit about how Pizza Hut is using behavioral data and analytics to improve its customers' digital experiences with the business, as well as its partnership with Content Square and how those two businesses are working together to improve customer experience. So thanks for joining me today, Tristan.
My pleasure, Joe. It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
So I think everyone in our audience is familiar with the company Pizza Hut, but maybe to kind of give a little background, tell us about your role, particularly at Pizza Hut and the work that your team does.
Absolutely. So as you mentioned, I'm the Global Head of Analytics at Pizza Hut International. Within Pizza Hut International, I work within basically a tech company division that's called Pizza Hut Digital Ventures, where we build e-commerce platform solutions for the brand that we're trying to scale across the Pizza Hut International ecosystem. My role as head of analytics, I guess you could say, is twofold. So partly we ensure that the business is well informed about performance, the whole business intelligence side of things, how are sales doing, how are transactions doing, all that jazz. And then secondly, we have a heavy focus on working alongside our product team. We try to make sure that our product teams have the data that they need to focus on building great products for our customers.
And I believe you've been with the company for about 3 years. Tell us a little bit about your professional background and what kind of attracted you and brought you to Pizza Hut International.
Yeah, for sure. So coming up on my 3.5 years now, it's been quite a journey. When I started at PHTV, it was 20 odd people, very small, very much run like a startup, and only in a couple of markets. And since then, it's grown to be a much bigger beast with a lot more people involved, and we're located in many regions now across the world, including the United States, Vietnam, India, and the UK, of course, where I'm based. Prior to Pizza Hut Digital, I worked in some startups, and before that, I was working in banking, actually. So that's where kind of the analytical piece comes from. I've got a degree in finance. That's been my road in.
Great. Well, as I noted in the introduction, I want to talk a little bit about kind of the digital experience for the Pizza Hut customer. So to start, let's just kind of level set and kind of have you talk through the different ways that consumers are currently digitally interacting with Pizza Hut. What are the ways that that you're finding customers behaving and interacting with the business?
Yeah, so there's, I guess, two main. Of course, we're in the e-commerce space. There's two main ways that people interact with our brand, through our web platforms and our app e-commerce platforms. Those are the two main ones that we're focused on in our space.
And the interactions that are occurring, is it solely to order pizza for deliveries, pickups? Is there any other kind of transactional based engagements that are occurring, or other reasons that consumers would want to be connecting with Pizza Hut digitally, whether it's through an e-commerce site, as you mentioned, or through the app?
Well, it is primarily a food ordering platform. So delivery and collection being the main, I guess, channels for people to order food from us, and they come via the web and app, of course. We do also have, in certain markets, loyalty programs and accounts and things like that. So people can come in and update their personal preferences and so forth. Yeah. In some markets, they can get points and rewards for ordering through us and that kind of thing. But yes, the answer to your question is we're primarily focused on that, getting the pizza lovers fed, getting that delicious, I would say, ham and pineapple pizza to your door.
Yeah, and making it as easy and convenient as well, right? And giving
Absolutely,
the consumer the convenience to choose which channel they want to go through.
Precisely. intuitive and straightforward user experiences to get people their pie as quickly as possible.
So obviously, through these digital channels, Pizza Hut is collecting valuable data about its customers and can then use that data to improve their experiences. Tell us a little bit about how Pizza Hut's using behavioral data, specifically, as I noted, to improve the customers' online experiences, particularly as they come back and shop digitally, again and again.
Absolutely. So we're very much focused on leveraging the benefits of both qualitative and quantitative data in our efforts to improve user experience. On the quantitative side, of course, we use lots of web analytics data. Products such as Content Square obviously play a very, very key role in this. And then on the qual side, we do a lot of user research. Like I said earlier, we've got lots of different markets that we're engaged in. So we're constantly doing user research and testing and user research interviews with customers in the various markets so that we can understand, first of all, what is common across all of our markets from a user interaction and user behavior standpoint, but also what is unique or nuanced about certain markets in the way that the people in those countries interact with e-commerce. And then, of course, the insights that we gather from our qual and quant channels really feed into our testing roadmap. And we use A/B testing and multivariate testing to help us validate some of the assumptions that we've either come across or made as part of our qual and quant programs.
Just to follow up on that last point around the A/B testing, is that primarily around promotional offers, marketing? Is there an example or two that you might be able to cite in how you're using A/B testing?
Yes. So, like I said, we operate in a range of different markets, and the promotions and marketing side of the brand is generally run locally. So it's less focused on that. The individual countries that we're in, they will run their promotions and they'll have a keen eye on the data to understand what needs to be done to help drive sales at a particular point in time. But my team being very central, building a scalable platform, our focus is on the user experience and creating easy, intuitive user interactions. So we tend to focus more on the UX side of things in building out that, less so on testing around promotions and deals, etc. So
Yep.
So you asked for an example. Every new feature that we look to add to improve the customer experience, either something we've spotted in research or something we've spotted in the data where a customer is experiencing a friction point, we will basically formulate a hypothesis based on that issue. Is a customer experiencing friction at this point? Do they not know what to do next, kind of thing? And then we will use the design team, of course, to build out a potential solution to that. We will devise a hypothesis, say that if we fix this issue, if we reduce friction at this point in the funnel, that we expect this will deliver an X percentage incremental drive to our conversion rate or transactions, and then we will run a test. Now, I personally view experimentation as itself a data collection exercise. It's an extension of quantitative analytics, and running that test allows you to understand from the various experiences that you've put forth to the customer, be it the control that you already had or one of the variants that you've designed, which one of those experiences delivers the best outcome.
Yeah, and that's a great example. Thanks for sharing that. And just one more follow-up there. I imagine there's a high level of collaboration, as you noted, with other teams than the organization in terms of you're collecting this data and then you're sharing it with other teams to then make decisions. Is that kind of how you operate?
Yes, absolutely. I think it's fair to say that the product team's generally composed of designers, obviously engineers and product people, but also analytics. So those three teams, or four teams really, have to collaborate and share data. And what I love to say about our testing program is that ideas can essentially come from anywhere, from anyone. So it's not limited even just to the product team. But sharing of knowledge amongst those four people is a great way to execute on ideation. And then we will also look more broadly to other stakeholders for lots of input on what they think might work as well. And if that idea that has surfaced, say, could even come from somebody working in one of the restaurants, an idea has surfaced, that we will look into it. We will determine whether or not there's enough volume hitting that part of the journey in terms of traffic, and whether or not we believe fixing that issue or addressing that issue might deliver us an upside.
Yeah, that's really interesting, and getting down almost to a restaurant level on a single level. That's and running tests off of that. Yeah.
So I wouldn't say it happens every single day, but it's just to make the point that ideas around optimization and ideation can come from anywhere across the business, and that's something to embrace.
Yeah, that's really great. You mentioned one of the tools that you're working with is Content Square. I'm interested to kind of learn a little bit about your relationship and how you're working with that company and why it's been a valuable partnership for Pizza Hut International.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have Content Square live in a few of our key markets. Typically, we try to align the integration of Content Square with kind of regions to see if what's true in this country is also true in what we would call perhaps similar regions. So we've got it in a few different countries, and we're using it quite effectively, I would say, to understand when and where customers are experiencing friction or confusion on the platform. Where are they dropping off in the experience? What are the key points in the funnel where we tend to lose customers? That's all that kind of thing is very easy to drill down to within Content Square. There's all kinds of segments that you can create for your traffic, and to understand that this might be a problem for this group of people, whereas not a problem for this group. Or you can create behavioral segments and say, I want to know exactly what is happening to the group of people who have dropped off at this point in the funnel. Why are they dropping off there? Ignore everybody else, but what's happening to this group? And then we can see that hopefully within Content Square that there's an issue for them here. And that kind of insight then feeds onto our experimentation backlog. And we investigate a little bit further by running a test.
Yeah, raising kind of those flags for you so that you can identify what to test next, and then obviously continually try to improve UX for your customer.
Exactly.
And that is happening across both the e-commerce site and the app, is it specific to one channel?
For the time being, it's specific to web.
Okay. So talk about kind of the business benefits then. You've entered kind of this relationship with Content Square. You're using their tool. Tell us a little bit kind of what you're getting out of it, or how you're kind of realizing gains from that relationship.
Absolutely. Well, one thing that we tend to joke about is that we get more insight out of Content Square than we know what to do with. We can't test fast enough, I think. Is the reality of our relationship with Content Square. So we're very keen to be super duper active in it, but there is stuff that we found a long time ago that we still haven't necessarily gotten to testing yet, because it's been down the priority list versus maybe other low-hanging fruit. And obviously you need to run a test for long enough to get a statistically significant outcome. And there's just so much that Content Square has given us that we're able to test off the back of.
And as you noted, my follow-up was going to be, and I'm sure your answer it depends on the volume of the traffic, but on average, how long are you testing something? Is it a week? Is it 2 weeks, a month, 2 months? What's kind of like, I am sure, again, it differs in certain cases, but is there kind of like an average length time for your testing?
Typically in a market where there's good traffic volumes, I wouldn't test for anything less than 2 weeks or 15 days. Now, the reason for that is because the food industry and the pizza delivery industry is an extraordinarily cyclical week. So fewer people are interested in having pizza, let's say, on a Monday evening than are having pizza on a Friday or a Saturday. So if we run a test for just 1 week, let's say, then if that week is for any reason whatsoever unusual, let's say there's a big sporting match that's happening, or a festival or something like that, that's either caused sales to spike irregularly or to dip irregularly, then that 1 week is not really going to be a great litmus test for how we would perform at scale for that feature. So we tend to run tests over a 2 week period just to kind of dial down some of those peaks and troughs if they are present. Yeah,
a good example here in the U.S. this Sunday is the Super Bowl, so that,
Indeed,
I imagine that traffic levels on a Super Bowl Sunday are an outlier versus an average Sunday.
Absolutely, and I don't think many people would like to test on Super Bowl day, just because they're probably going to misinterpret the results.
Exactly. So my final question then, Tristan, is kind of looking ahead a little bit. Tell us what Pizza Hut is working on to, continue to ensure that it's improving its customers' digital experiences with the brand. Tell us a little bit about where your and your team's attention is focused.
Absolutely. So this year is going to be hugely focused on upgrading our app offering, where we've invested heavily in improving our current apps, and there'll be lots to see in some of the markets that we operate in terms of that improvement. I can't say too much, but definitely bringing forth a world-class app, in my opinion. The other thing is that Pizza Hut Digital Ventures, as I mentioned, works across many different markets within the Pizza Hut International estate, and we just wish to grow and continue scaling our platform into as many markets as possible, whilst focusing, of course, on the local variances and nuances that I mentioned. And for me personally, my team, I think that our experimentation program this past year has been glorious and done really well, and is delivering some really, really great results. But I just want to do so much better. I just want to, scale that up and put the pedal to the metal and really take our experimentation program further and further.
Yeah, as you know, to keep pace with all the great information that you're getting from the Content Square tool. Next things, there's a constant pipeline of things to test, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I want to be testing all day, every day, except for Super Bowl Sunday.
Exactly. Well, I appreciate the time. I want to take this opportunity to thank Tristan Burns, who is the Global Head of Analytics at Pizza Hut International, for joining us on today's episode of Total Retail Talks. Thank you, Tristan.
My pleasure, Joe. Thanks so much.
Thanks for listening. For more information on this podcast, please check out our podcast channel page at mytotalretail.com/podcasts for show notes. Total Retail Talks is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Stitcher. Make sure to subscribe on our podcast channel page as well. If you've enjoyed this episode, please take a few moments to rate and review this podcast. Thanks, and until next time, this has been Total Retail Talks.
With Coveo AI, you'll increase sales so you can thrive in 2022. You'll stay relevant to your customers so they buy from your business instead of your competition. Learn more at coveo.com. That's Coveo.com.